left. Jonathan Orr on your right. It's 4-color control against 4-color loam. And we'll be underway here in just a moment.
We'll take literally anything but.
We're underway here in game number 1. A Mox Diamond here for John Orr. Along with the Marsh Flats, he'll discard a Maze of Ith. Not very good in this matchup.
Bob is a human on Jonathan Orr's life pad, I believe referencing a play in a previous round in which Dark Confidant was played into the face of a Plague Engineer.
Tough. A tough play. But you live and you learn as we head back over to Aiden Brier, who's got a Scalding Tarn. He'll sacrifice that. Tarmogoyf was the play there for Jonathan Orr. We all make mistakes. The goal, at least my goal in playing Game of Magic, is to make less mistakes than my opponent. Ideally. It's a very complicated game. Gonna screw up occasionally. Just try not to do it too often. That's all. Badlands.
That's the other thing I've really noticed about this tournament, because of Astrolabe and sort of the incentive to play land-centric strategies, things built around Looping Wasteland. We've really seen a wide array of dual lands today.
Oh, yeah.
Everything from Underground Sea all the way down to Lowly Plateau have been on camera so far.
You know the one that we haven't really seen?
Give me a moment.
I can tell you. There's Tropical Island. We've seen that.
Bayou.
That's one.
It's been low on Bayou.
Yeah. Well, we saw that from the Golgari Depths deck have that one.
That's true.
Taiga.
Yeah. David Long definitely having.
Taiga.
Yeah. Taiga is interesting because you would assume with Renin 6 that Taiga would be a popular dual land.
Not really very much. Don't see very much of them. Speaking of Renin 6, it is here. It has returned to land, and we're going to head back over to Jonathan Orr, who's got a Mox Diamond, a Grove of the Burn Willows, not a Taiga, past the turn. Now his deck does have Punishing Fire, a card that's fantastic at checking Planeswalkers, as Scalding Tarn will come back to Aiden Brier's hand and be the land for the turn. There is Punishing Fire, pay the red, return it via the Grove, and this is his way of keeping Planeswalkers under control.
Yeah, Punishing Fire gets a lot of... has sort of a historical cachet around its ability to suppress small creatures. But in these control matchups, it also does a good job in long games of taxing Planeswalkers as well.
Wooded Foothills the land there for Jonathan Orr. He'll pass the turn back. We're going to go back over to Aiden now. He'll draw a card. If you were watching our last match, as Jonathan Orr defeated Jonathan Rossum, Punishing Fire did a number on Rossum in game number 1, taking care of his Jaces, his Snapcaster Mages, and everything else. And with no main deck way to stop Punishing Fire once it gets going, it's only a matter of time before Rossum gave up and gave in. There is Punishing Fire. Going to hit Ren and 6.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem like Aiden Brier set up at all for Punishing Fire in game number 1.
I think most decks like this, these 4-color messes, aren't set up for it at all.
Creatures. 3 Snapcaster Mage, 2 Baleful Strix, 2 Plague Engineer.
Those are dead.
3 Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Dead.
3 Renin 6.
Dead.
Everything else in here is card drawing and removal.
Number of Wastelands in the deck?
2.
And against a deck that has Life from the Loam?
Yeah. I mean, it might take a while.
So the thing is, and I was thinking about this when Rossum was playing last round because I was in the pit watching. If I was Rossum, I would have conceded so early. Because Rossum was doing a lot of brainstorming and all this stuff to keep his Jace around and Force of Willing a Life from the Loam, so Orr had to do it the next turn. And it's this is all nonsense because it's all going to lead to the same spot.
Right.
Which is you're not going to have anything that matters, and I'm always going to have Punishing Fire and Grove. So the question, if you're Aiden right now, is how long do you want to go through this?
Well, if you're still in theory drawing to Wasteland, if Orr has not found a copy of Loam and you might be able to get him off the Grove and then be able to play it out for a little bit longer, but his position's really bad. I mean, his deck is just not equipped to beat this card in game number 1.
And this is kind of the cheat against these strategies right now. As good as these 4-color control decks are at handling everything an opponent can throw at them and win the game, this is certainly a weak spot right now, and that's part of the reason that Orr is sitting at 8-0 here this weekend.
Yeah, I wonder if some of these lists are going to start messing around a little bit with maybe a main deck copy or two of Force of Negation.
Maybe.
Not a hard card to justify, just kind of in general. It's already seeing some legacy play, and if you're a control deck that's vulnerable to Punishing Fire in a deep game like that, getting that card exiled might be really attractive.
Bloodstained Mire is going to search up a basic snow-covered swamp. And now there is Renin 6. This will get back Bloodstained Mire. And Orr is going to sacrifice a Wooded Foothills. We'll probably see him fire off Punishing Fire again and get it back with the Grove. Taiga! Check that box.
Yep.
He'll actually get back the Punishing Fire with the Grove first and then fire it off. Also knowing, he can do this confidently, knowing you're not going to exile him.
Yeah.
You're not playing Surgical Extraction main deck. This isn't that modern format. There's no Nile Spellbomb on the battlefield. Nothing like that is going on here. There's another Wasteland there for Orr. Now the question is, does he just want to kill it now, or will he wait?
Well, last time he did in the upkeep in case there's a counter spell. You know, it's possible he wants to do it now to avoid Hardcast Force of Will as a thing. He can also play around Hardcast Force of Will this way by using a Wasteland, taking him off of 5 mana, and then doing the same play he did last time.
That's exactly what he did. And he'll kill the Renin 6 on the upkeep, as you mentioned. Now, another way for Orr to start constricting resources is he does have a copy of Liliana of the Veil in hand. He's going to fire off the Wasteland to take care of the Badlands. The only thing that Orr is missing right now, at least to me, partner, is Loam.
Yeah, some insurance against Brier finding a Wasteland. Other than that, I mean, I'm looking at the deck list here. I just think we're all done.
Now, it is worth noting, not playing a ton of copies of Life from the Loam, but there is the ability to get through the deck quite a bit and find that one copy. Liliana's going to go up. Also pretty cute, the ability to play Liliana, plus it, and just discard Punishing Fire and get it back. So that's basically free of charge. Now, Brier does have ways to take care of Planeswalkers, of course. He does have Abrupt Decay in his deck and ways to knock the loyalty down. So it's not the end-all, be-all. And here is Abrupt Decay. Punishing Fire is going to come back to Orr's hand. And pass that turn back. So we head back over to Aiden Brier now. A lot of cards in his hand, but it's all a lot of reactive stuff. Volcanic Island and pass the turn back. We'll head back over to Aiden. Pretty healthy format when you're seeing basically all the dual lands. I think we've seen Plateau.
Yeah, we have for sure. Yeah. Out of those 3 color Loam decks.
Yeah. There's Punishing Fire. So you see the weakness. Chase, whatever.
It's one of my favorite, perhaps my favorite Jerry T-isms that I ever read. You can draw all the cards you want. Doesn't matter if you can't beat the board.
Yep.
And we're going to see that for as long as Brier is willing to play this game.
It feels that way.
He's got no end of ways to draw cards, no end of 2-1s, although it looks like Brier has picked up a Wasteland.
It looks like he finally found one, and he's going to fire it off on the Grove. So Grove down.
All right.
Now for Orr, he does have 3 copies of Grove of the Burn Willows in his deck. He also has the very powerful Ren and 6.
Got to fight over this. I mean, you can't.
Probably have to.
If you're Brier, you can't play until Grove is off the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. And now there is Force of Will exiling a Baleful Strix. Or we'll pass the turn back, so we'll head back over to Brier.
And now that Brier has found a Wasteland, not only is he out from under Punishing Fire for the time being, he's drawing very heavy to his own Renin 6. Because Orr's mana base is very heavy on non-basics itself. But I think Brier is down to only 1 copy of Brennan 6 in the deck. He's playing 3 in the main, and 2 are already accounted for.
2 are in the graveyard, taken care of via Punishing Fire. Here's a Ponder. Looks like a bunch of reactive stuff again. He's going to keep it, though. Snapcaster Mage is in there. We head back over to Orr. He'll just draw and I think pass the turn back. So here's Snapcaster Mage. Now Brainstorm.
I don't know about that. I would have preferred Abrupt Decay on the Mox.
Oh, start to cut the mana?
Try to get maybe your Wasteland going. But you know, if Brier's drawing heavy to a lot of different cards.
Also, you're you.
I know. I have some biases.
There's that as well.
Mox Diamond's very powerful. It's a 2-for-1 because I had to discard the land. Had to discard the land.
Oh, I get it.
It's worth a lot of money.
Also true.
It's very satisfying to destroy your opponent's cards that cost them a lot of money.
That's true. With a card that's cheaper.
Right.
As well. Like Abrupt Decay. Here's Baleful Strix. Draw a card. Next up, Plague Engineer. We'll see what that's naming. Bob is a human. Noted. Human is the name. Looks like Abrupt Decay is going to kill the Plague Engineer. There's a Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turn back. We head back over to Aiden Brier. Beatdowns. Orr's going to fall down to 13. Brier making a nice little comeback here. He'll play another Plague Engineer.
Yeah, still at the mercy of Orr finding Grove of the Burn Willows, but running out of time to do it.
There's Wasteland. You did mention though he's at the mercy of that. Grove, Loam, Ren 6. Some of those things he can interact with the counter magic, others he can't. Here comes Kolagon's Command. Blow that up.
Yeah.
Get back Plague Engineer. Just going beatdowns. Or at least trying to. Head back over to Aiden.
Well, now we're at a point where it might not even be fast enough for Orr to find the Grove.
Another Abrupt Decay. I think he's doing it good enough to keep his head above water. Dark Confidant. Yep, that's not it.
Wow.
Play it right into the Plague Engineer. He's just kidding, of course, and he will concede the game. So Aiden Brier is going to win game number 1 here over Jonathan Orr. Finally found an answer to that that Punishing Fire Grove of the Burn Wolves combination. Orr was not able to reassemble, and Aiden Brier was able to capitalize just quickly enough. So we take a look at the sideboards here. We'll start with Jonathan Orr, who's got 3 Leyline of the Void, 3 Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, 2 Swords of Plowshares, 2 Plague Engineers of his own, and now 5 one-ofs, an Assassin's Trophy Tireless Tracker, Tarmogoyf, Bajuka Bog, and Crop Rotation.
I like the Assassin's Trophy, and I like the Tireless Tracker, and I'm not really into anything else here. I mean, Leyline of the Void's maybe okay against Ren 6 and Snapcaster Mage. A lot of this is anti-combo and anti-creature. Tireless Tracker and Assassin's Trophy, good sorts of card advantage, flexible removal for all sorts of things. That stuff's good.
Fair enough. We'll take a look at Brier. He's got 3 Pyroblast, 2 Leovolt, Emissary of Trest, 2 Surgical Extraction. I got 8 one-ofs here. Caracas, Hydroblast, Ancient Grudge, Force Negation, Plague Engineer, Pithing Needle, Veil of Summer, Crop Rotation.
I really like the Force of Negation here. I like the Surgicals, and I could be talking to Leovolt.
Okay.
But light sideboarding again.
Well, those are the options there for both players. Game number 2 is going to be underway here in just a moment, and we might see one or both of these players at the Players' Championship next year. And speaking of which, we've got some information to share.
It's been a while, but I feel like I've seen this movie before. Pass the turn back. Is it a top deck?
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
goddamn Pendlehaven. Pump and attack? Is this real?
Oh my God. Oh no.
December 13th through the 15th at the Star City Game Center in Roanoke, Virginia. 16 players, 1 champion, and it could be Joe Lissette defending his crown. Looking forward to covering one of those for the first time in a handful of years.
Yeah, it's been a bit. And I think there can be this habit when there's this new impactful card, it's really powerful, shows up all over the place, to just say, oh, well, this invalidates X, Y, and Z, or it just replaces this previous card. And you saw a good instance of that there from Orr's side of, while Renin 6 might be more powerful than Life from Loam and might be more ubiquitous over time, you can see the difference there and why Loam still might have a place. Because Renin 6 is a card that you can counter or kill and just move on with life. Yeah. As long as Loam is there, there is an inevitability of reassembling whatever lands you're trying to put together. If Orr had a Loam that game, there's no way that Brier can manage Grove the Burnwells plus Punishing Fire over a long game. But because Orr's source of recursion was a Renin 6, Brier was able to Force of Will it and then win with some Grey Ogres. Not a possibility the other way around. So even though Renin 6, very powerful, it's going to be all over the place. Not strictly better than Loam, not just a replacement for Loam. They're just different cards with different strengths and weaknesses.
Totally agree with you. Keep in mind, we will be back tomorrow morning. We got to type up all those day 2 deck lists.
And there will be a lot of them.
And there will be a lot of them. We got to get ready for day number 2, 6 rounds of action, of course. Then we'll announce our top 8, let you at home decide on the quarterfinals. And then we'll play through our elimination rounds and eventually crown a champion here. What are you doing with those mountains?
Bought some mountains. There's some artwork that I like. I'm thinking about retiring the Arabians. I haven't totally made up my mind yet, but...
What do we got there? Mirage, probably?
Mirage and some from Ice Age.
Oh, there you go. But not snow-covered from Ice Age.
No, of course not. I'd rather die. I'd rather... There's no way I would ever... Even in Legacy. Legacy is a format where there was a point where people played Predict. There was a reason for me to split. I'll never do it.
Okay.
I'll never do it.
Okay.
If you play against me in a tournament and if I got a Snowland in play, there's a reason. All right?
I'm going to call a detective. If you've got a Snowland in play, you must have been held for ransom.
Yeah. I will never do it. I'll never do it. Whatever fraction of a percent of equity I'm spewing by not, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I'll never do it.
Noted. Noted. We're underway. Verdant Catacombs here. We'll get our second game off to a rousing start. Polluted Delta, maybe the more powerful of the 2 fetch lands, will be sacrificed here. Aiden will get a snow-covered swamp, something Patrick would never play.
No, he's got Astrolabe. That's fine. He's got Arkham's Astrolabe. Right. That's a reason.
And there
that's fine.
Is. Boom, there it is.
He has a card in his deck that requires snow mana, and so he has a Snowland. Yes. I'm into that.
This is a Mox Diamond. Discarding Wasteland. Sacrifice the fetch land after playing a scrub land. Knight of the Reliquary, a 4/4 at this moment. Not that tough for Brier to kill in his deck, though. It does play fetch lands and Fatal Push.
3 copies of Abrupt Decay as well.
Yeah. You wouldn't expect this knight to live all that long, but... And you can already see it being placed, pardon me, in the graveyard. There's the push. Back to Orr. Bob. Ambitious.
A lot of ways for this to go bad.
Yeah. And Brier's going to sacrifice a Scalding Tarn. I hope for Jonathan Orr it's not a Renin 6.
Well, Renin 6 is oh, no, never mind. Astrolabe. Yep,
Yeah.
he could cast it.
Yeah, nice try, pal. There's your green source. Astrolabe and a Snowland is your red source. There we go. There it is.
No, I don't know about 1 toughness. You know? It doesn't seem like a great time for 1 toughness.
No.
Renin 6 all over the place. Playing with Plague Engineer.
Yeah. Part of me thinks maybe we should sideboard those Bobs out here. Pretty ambitious thinking they're going to live.
This is a 2 for 1 city. All self-inflicted.
Yeah. Orr's got, I think, 2 cards left in hand to Aiden Brier's 1,000.
Whole hand of cards.
Yep. Bang. Bong.
Let's get a Kolaghan's Command in here.
No, that's even worse. There's a Badlands. Tireless Tracker.
You know what?
That's dead.
2 toughness at least.
That's true.
Let's get a Kolaghan's Command for that last card in hand, plus the tracker, or blow up the Mox. Happy either way.
I like that attack. Leovold comes in. Bonk.
Love it.
Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. There's Scavenging Ooze. Well, a motley crew of green threats here. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure? You sure?
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, you're okay? Yeah. Green's finest.
What you say you do here?
Green's finest bozos have showed up to the battlefield.
I do like the effort here. You know what a magic number I like on Aura's side right now?
Was that
2 toughness.
2 toughness.
2 toughness. Lesson learned from the Dark Confidant.
Yes. Brier's going to get in here with Leovold once again. The follow-up is Abrupt Decay. That'll take care of the tracker. And the ooze is left over. Beatdowns. That'll work. Follow-up. Well,
All right.
I like trying again.
Or looked up suitably ashamed.
Yeah.
Might be good here though. Brier didn't do very much last turn.
No, he
it might
didn't.
stick. Thing his hands, another copy of Leovold, maybe some lands. Not very good.
Some stinky stuff in the grip there. Pass the turn. There's a Surgical Extraction there too. All right, we're alive. Chalice is, well, it's a card you can draw. Costs 0.
Yeah. Free.
Combo. Yeah, the beatdowns aren't great right now. Leovold is a 3/3 after all. I've got Ari Lax with the match slip, so he's 6-3, probably in a day number 2 now. Scavenging Goose is going to attack. Oh, this is going to go real bad, I think. Maybe not.
No, I think that I think Brier is one to trade off with another copy of Leovold in hand.
All right. There was the ability for Aiden to Surgical the Dark Confidant with the Ooze trigger on the stack.
Sure.
And then Ooze is still a 2/2 against Leovold being a 3.
Yeah, I think not worth it though if you're just gonna play your other Leovold.
Might want to just save that Surgical for something else, perhaps.
Yeah. For example, he reveals something that's good to Dark Confidant that's in the graveyard. You could tag it in the draw step. You know, there's other things to be done.
There's a Snapcaster Mage on a Fatal Push. Goodbye, Dark Confidant. Volcanic Island, pass the turn back over to Orr, who does have a Punishing Fire in hand. That is a Chalice on 1. He'll pass the turn back. Aiden is going to Ancient Grudge that. We'll head back over to Brier, who's going to play a Leovolden attack here for 2. Back to Orr. How about a Chalice again? Looks like that's going to resolve. It's on 1. Back to Aiden. Leovolden Snapcaster will come in, or it's going to fall down to 7. Scalding Tarn, pass the turn back, or will draw. That is
There it is.
Dark Confidant again.
There's our favorite lad.
And drawn for the turn, Renin 6. Well, if that doesn't recap this game and match, I don't really know what does. Kill that. Beatdowns, you're at 2. Draw. And done. Aiden Brier's going to win this game and match over Jonathan Orr, 2-0. 4-color control going to take care of 4-color alone, and for Aiden Brier, it's a 9-0 start. He's on top of the standings here in Syracuse.
2 mana, 1 toughness. Not feeling it. I'm off it for now. You got